Hi everyone. Today I'm going to present communication and network security. In the network, we have the network model, such as the OSI model and the TCP/IP model. The OSI model is the Open System Interconnection Reference Model, and the TCP model is the Transmission Control Protocol Internet Protocol model. So as we see in the OSI model, there are physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and the application layer. To the TCP model, the network asset layer, which is the data link and physical layer in the OSI model. Internet layer, we also call it a network layer, same as the OSI model. The host-to-host layer in the TCP/IP. In general, we also call it transport layer, which means it's same as the transport layer in the OSI model. But the last one, application layer, is include application layer, presentation layer, and session layer in the OSI model. In general, we will use the TCP model to present or to use in the firewall router to 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 do some policy or the protocol program. For the security, we will separate into two layers, uh, which are network layer and the application layer. This we will going to discuss. In here, it will say it's a firewall layer, but in in general, we will we will do a security policy for layer 3 or layer 7. Layer 3 layer is called the network layer or the network firewalls. Network firewalls is the uh, uh, to do a policy for the IP address and the port number. The IP address include the source IP, destination IP, source port, and destination port. So and the related service protocol. So this is a simple configuration. It's right here. You can see that if you categorize traffic in this way, they are operating. You can make things more uh, granular by configure firewall to accept traffic from certain IP address only on certain port or when traffic use a certain protocol. Yeah, that's the layer 3 firewall, just the filter or block traffic depending on the port, IP address, and certain protocol. But sometimes we may not use it's not enough to block the content in the transmission in the data. That's why we will use the layer 7 firewall. Here is mentioned right here is writing about layer 7 let you source traffic according to which application or application surface the traffic is trying to reach and what the specified content of the traffic are. Rather than simply blocking all traffic on a certain port, you could use and application firewall accept traffic. Yeah, that's what we stated. Uh, some typically use we had to block some of traffic content, but uh, some content we may use in the same protocol, like the SQL, and Telnet. So he give us the example is that when we block any traffic, certain no vulnerability, like the SQL injection attack and malicious telnet command. This will be with very common program statement or very common application we use in the network. But some hacker attack will use SQL injection attack and malicious telnet command. So we should filter this content of the data. That's why we use the layer 7 firewall. So right here, he provides us some discussion about the layer 3 and the layer 7. He mentioned that why we use the layer 3 firewall even we have the layer 7. Since the layer 3 firewall make decision based on much more narrow set of variables, which look at a literally infinity amount of unique requests. Thus, L3 firewall are generally able to have a much greater throughput than layer 7 firewall. Yeah, that's why we still use layer 3 firewall. First is simple, and second is that have a greater throughput. Sometimes we if in the application protocol like the Telnet or SSH protocol, which just allow the port number, the IP address, and the SSH protocol. That is have a greater the throughput and the easy configuration. But like in the layer 7 firewall, he gives us the example like the HTTP. So his writer is especially as HTTP has become the universal app protocol, attackers are more likely to copy and export witnessed within the app layer. So if you just an layer 3 firewall that allow all traffic to port 80, you are bound to those risks. And layer 7 firewall is able to look within the app layer and make decisions regarding whether to allow a request based on what it contains. Yeah, that's we said the layer 7 is the filter the content what we need and what is the dangerous, which is from the attacker, or by the hacker or some malicious attack. That's why we separate into the two layer 3 security and the layer 7 security. In my experience, layer 3 firewall is more cheaper than the layer 7 and more easy configuration than the layer 7. Layer 7 firewall is for deep insight at the app protocol level. So it's more com- comprehensive, and you need to do a lot configuration about the content filter. That's the why that is the what we discussed, the layer 3 and the layer 7. So right here there's a conclusion. Ideally, you will have the ability to use both layer 3 firewall filtering and the layer 7 filtering as a need. By being able to filter both at the network level and the application level, you have a maximum ability to protect your infrastructure and surface against intruder. Yeah, we need to so what we should use the layer 3 firewall and the layer 7 firewall. It depends on our uh, business. It depends on the environment. Sometimes we may not use the uh, layer 7 security or layer 7 firewall if we just simple help desk in the local lane to access the internet. That's, that may not use the uh, layer 7 filter. But if we use a database server and a website servers and some more sensitive security in the business, we had to use a layer 7 firewall. All the layers we should focus, make a more attention on the layer 7 security. Okay, thanks.